Dolls are supposed to bring comfort and joy to children, but these 8 demonic dolls have been transformed into vessels for supernatural evil that terrorize anyone who encounters them. These aren't just creepy toys, they're genuine supernatural threats inhabited by malevolent spirits, ancient demons, and twisted souls that use innocent appearances to mask their deadly intentions. What makes demonic dolls so terrifying is how they pervert our natural protective instincts toward children's toys. These entities exploit our trust in innocent objects, turning symbols of childhood safety into instruments of supernatural horror that can move independently, speak with demonic voices, and kill with supernatural abilities. But here's what'll keep you watching. I'm saving the most genuinely evil demonic doll for last. This possessed toy isn't just based on a movie character. It's inspired by a real haunted doll that continues to terrorize people today, with documented supernatural activity that has been investigated by paranormal experts for decades. Before we explore these demonic dolls and the supernatural forces that inhabit them, if you're ready to discover why these innocent toys became vessels for ancient evil, please hit that subscribe button to support the channel. It really helps us continue investigating the supernatural entities that hide behind familiar faces. Doll 1, Annabelle, Conjuring Universe. The demon's conduit. Annabelle became demonic when college students Donna and Angie attempted to communicate with what they believed was the spirit of a deceased girl named Annabelle Higgins. However, they were actually contacted by an ancient demonic entity that used this deception to gain access to their lives and attach itself to the Raggedy Ann doll. The demon doesn't actually possess the doll itself, but uses it as a conduit to interact with the physical world. The entity can manipulate the doll's position, cause it to move independently, and use it as a focal point for supernatural attacks on nearby humans. The demon's ultimate goal is to possess a human host, using the doll as a stepping stone. Annabelle's demonic powers include telekinesis, creating supernatural phenomena around the doll, influencing human behavior, and serving as an anchor for the demon to manifest in the physical world. The entity can also cause accidents, manipulate electronics, and create an atmosphere of dread that weakens victims' psychological defenses. What makes Annabelle particularly dangerous is that the demon inhabiting it is patient and intelligent, gradually escalating its supernatural attacks until it can achieve full human possession. The doll serves as a permanent supernatural threat that requires constant religious protection to contain. Doll 2, Chucky, Child's Play. The serial killer's soul. Chucky became demonic when serial killer Charles Lee Ray used a voodoo ritual to transfer his soul into a good guy doll moments before his death. The ritual, taught to him by a practitioner of dark magic, allowed Ray's consciousness and murderous personality to inhabit the plastic toy while retaining his human memories and intelligence. The voodoo magic that created Chucky gives the doll supernatural abilities, including independent movement, superhuman strength for his size, to speak and think like a human, and most importantly, the power to transfer his soul into a human body if he can complete the proper ritual. Chucky's demonic powers include near invulnerability to physical damage, the ability to repair himself from severe injuries, supernatural knowledge of weapons and murder techniques, and the capacity to manipulate people through psychological warfare. He retains all of Charles Lee Ray's criminal knowledge and murderous instincts. What makes Chucky uniquely terrifying is that he combines human intelligence and cunning with supernatural resilience and the innocent appearance of a children's toy. His ultimate goal is to transfer his soul into a human child, making him a persistent threat that becomes more dangerous over time. Doll 3, Billy the Puppet, Saw, the Mechanical Messenger. Billy the Puppet became associated with demonic activity through its use by John Kramer, Jigsaw, who employed the tricycle-riding puppet to deliver messages about his twisted moral philosophy and death traps. While not possessed by a supernatural entity, Billy represents the mechanical embodiment of Jigsaw's warped sense of justice. The puppet's demonic nature comes from its role as a harbinger of death and torture. Billy appears to victims before they are subjected to elaborate death traps, serving as a psychological weapon that increases fear and despair. The puppet's mechanical movements and distorted voice create an uncanny valley effect that's deeply unsettling. Billy's powers are primarily psychological rather than supernatural, The puppet can be remotely controlled to move and speak, appearing in locations where victims least expect it. Its presence signals that the victim has been selected for one of Jigsaw's games, making it a symbol of impending doom. What makes Billy particularly disturbing is how it represents the cold, mechanical nature of Jigsaw's philosophy. The puppet serves as a dehumanized messenger for twisted moral lessons, turning childhood innocence into an instrument of psychological torture. Doll 4. The Zuni doll, Trilogy of Terror, the Warrior Spirit. The Zuni doll became demonic when it was created as an African hunting fetish, designed to contain the spirit of a Zuni warrior. The doll was crafted with specific rituals and materials that bound the warrior's aggressive spirit to the carved wooden figure, creating a supernatural weapon disguised as a tribal artifact. The warrior spirit inhabiting the doll possesses supernatural hunting instincts, incredible speed and agility for its size, and the ability to use primitive weapons with deadly precision. The spirit retains its warrior mentality, viewing anyone who removes the golden chain around its neck as an enemy to be hunted and killed. The Zuni doll's demonic powers include independent movement, superhuman strength relative to its size, the ability to use tools and weapons, and relentless pursuit of its targets. The warrior spirit cannot be reasoned with or deterred, making it an implacable supernatural threat. What makes the Zuni doll particularly terrifying is its connection to ancient spiritual practices and its role as a supernatural weapon. The doll represents the dangerous intersection between cultural artifacts and supernatural forces, showing how spiritual objects can become deadly when mishandled. Doll 5. Robert the Doll, Robert, the Vengeful Child Spirit. Robert the doll became possessed when it was given to young Robert Eugene Otto by a Bahamian servant who practiced black magic. The servant, who had been mistreated by the Otto family, cursed the doll as revenge, binding a malevolent spirit to the toy that would torment the family for generations. The spirit inhabiting Robert the doll demonstrates classic Poltergeist abilities, including moving independently, changing facial expressions, causing accidents and misfortune to those who disrespect it, and creating supernatural phenomena in its vicinity. The entity seems to have a childlike but malevolent personality. Robert's demonic powers include the ability to move when not observed, influence electronic devices, cause bad luck and accidents to people who mock or photograph it without permission, and create an atmosphere of unease that affects everyone in its presence. The doll also reportedly giggles and changes positions on its own. What makes Robert particularly unsettling is that it's based on a real haunted doll that continues to affect people today. The actual Robert doll is housed in a museum in Key West, Florida, where visitors must ask permission before photographing it or risk experiencing supernatural consequences. Doll 6. Brahms, the Boy, the Disturbed Child's Vessel. Brahms, the porcelain doll, became a supernatural vessel when the real Brahms Heelshire, a disturbed child who died in a house fire, attached his spirit to the doll that his parents used as a replacement for their deceased son. The parents' grief and the child's traumatic death created the conditions for this supernatural attachment. The spirit of Brahms demonstrates the ability to move the doll when not observed, create supernatural phenomena throughout the house, and influence the behavior of people who care for the doll. The entity retains the personality and needs of a demanding, spoiled child, but with supernatural abilities. Brahms' demonic powers include telekinesis, the ability to manipulate the house's infrastructure, moving through walls, controlling utilities, creating supernatural sounds and disturbances, and influencing the emotions and behavior of his caretakers. The spirit becomes violent when his rules are not followed. What makes Brahms particularly disturbing is how it represents the corruption of parental love and the dangerous consequences of refusing to let go of deceased children. The supernatural attachment reflects the parents' inability to process grief in healthy ways. Doll 7. Slappy, Goosebumps, the Dark Magic Dummy. Slappy became demonic when he was created using dark magic and ancient incantations that bound a malevolent spirit to the ventriloquist dummy. The specific words used to bring Slappy to life connect him to supernatural forces that give him independence and malicious intelligence. The dark magic inhabiting Slappy grants him the ability to move and speak independently, control other dummies and toys, manipulate people through supernatural influence, and create chaos wherever he goes. The entity delights in causing mischief and terror, particularly targeting children and families. Slappy's demonic powers include animation of inanimate objects, mind control over weak-willed individuals, the ability to bring other toys to life as his servants, and supernatural resilience that makes him difficult to destroy permanently. He can also cast simple spells and curses. What makes Slappy particularly effective as a supernatural threat is his combination of childish humor and genuine malevolence. The dummy uses comedy and entertainment as a mask for his evil intentions, making him appealing to children while hiding his dangerous nature. Doll 8. The Clown Doll, Poltergeist, the haunted house manifestation. The clown doll in Poltergeist became demonic as part of the overall supernatural infestation affecting the Freeling family home. The doll serves as a focal point for the malevolent spirits inhabiting the house, transforming from an innocent toy into a terrifying supernatural threat. The supernatural forces affecting the house use the clown doll as a vessel to terrorize young Robbie Freeling, demonstrating how the entities can inhabit and animate any object within their domain. The doll's transformation reflects the overall corruption of the family's safe domestic space. The clown doll's demonic powers include independent movement, the ability to appear and disappear at will, supernatural strength sufficient to attack a child, and the capacity to serve as a conduit for the house's malevolent spirits. The doll becomes more active and threatening as the supernatural infestation intensifies. What makes the clown doll particularly effective is how it represents the corruption of childhood safety within the family home. The transformation of a comforting toy into a supernatural threat symbolizes how the haunting violates every aspect of normal family life. And there you have it. 8 demonic dolls that prove childhood toys can become vessels for supernatural evil when inhabited by malevolent spirits, ancient demons, and twisted souls. From Annabelle's patient demon to Robert's vengeful curse, these possessed playthings show how innocence can be corrupted into instruments of terror. What makes demonic dolls so psychologically effective is how they exploit our natural trust in children's toys and our protective instincts toward childhood innocence. These entities use familiar, comforting appearances to mask supernatural threats that can move independently, speak with otherworldly voices, and kill with paranormal abilities. The lasting impact of these demonic dolls lies in how they've transformed our relationship with toys and childhood objects. They've created a new category of horror that makes us question the safety of seemingly innocent items and wonder what supernatural forces might be hiding behind familiar faces. These possessed playthings remind us that supernatural evil can inhabit any object, turning the most innocent items into dangerous supernatural threats. They've proven that in horror, the most terrifying monsters are often the ones that look like they should be protecting us instead of hunting us. Which of these demonic dolls would you be most afraid to encounter in real life? Do you think any childhood toy could potentially become a vessel for supernatural evil? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more explorations of horror's most innocent-looking but deadly supernatural threats. Remember, sometimes the most dangerous monsters are the ones that look like they belong in a child's bedroom.